Your phone is part of your environment too. If the first thing you hear in the morning is something that stirs desires or sadness, your day begins from a low place. But if you begin with Bismillah, a few verses, or a simple dhikr, you give your soul a cleaner foundation. Small choices at the start of the day often decide the mood of the whole day. Also, be mindful of triggers. Some songs are tied to memories, relationships, and emotional patterns, and that can pull you back even when you don't want to return. So protect yourself with wisdom. Remove what leads you to weakness and keep what leads you to strength. This is not deprivation. It is self-respect. And don't forget to ask Allah for help, because guidance is a gift. When you build a space that welcomes remembrance, you invite sakina, tranquility, into your life. Over time, you will feel the difference. Your heart becomes steadier, your thoughts become cleaner, and you begin to enjoy peace that no playlist could ever provide. Before we end, take a quiet moment and check your heart. What entered it today, and what are you choosing to protect from now on, inshallah? If this video reminded you of something real, don't let it fade. Turn it into a small action and a sincere dua. May Allah purify our hearts, our ears, and our intentions, and make us among those who listen to what is best and follow it. Ameen. Now, I want you to do one simple thing. Choose one word connected to today's topic. Something like haya, heart, purity, khushu, tawbah, discipline, light, clarity. And write that word in the comments. Let it be your personal reminder and your intention moving forward. And if this message deserves to reach more hearts, please use YouTube's new hype feature to support this video and help it spread. Your support might be the reason someone else takes their first step back to Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah. Have you ever wondered why some words don't just enter your ears, but slip straight into your heart and change you? Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Hikmah Path. I'm truly happy you're here. In today's video, you're going to learn so much. Practical reminders, deep reflections, and timeless lessons that can reshape the way you see your life, your struggles, and your relationship with Allah. So, before we begin, let me ask you one more question. If you met Allah tonight, would you feel at peace with the story you've been writing with your days? Take a breath, keep your heart open, and let's walk this path of hikmah together. Modesty in Islam is not a wall that blocks life. It is a light that guides it. It begins in the heart when you feel shy before Allah, even if nobody is watching. That kind of shyness is not weakness. It is strength, because it means your soul still recognizes what is pure and what is dangerous. True modesty protects your eyes, your tongue, and your intentions. It teaches you to lower your gaze, not because you are afraid of people, but because you honor yourself and you honor the one who created you. When the heart is clean, it doesn't crave what stains it, even if the world calls it normal. Modesty also appears in how you speak, how you dress, and how you carry yourself. It is not about looking religious for attention. It is about being sincere for Allah. A modest person doesn't need to advertise their purity. They quietly choose what pleases their Lord, and they walk with dignity. And modesty is not only for certain people, it is for every believer. A man has haya just as a woman has haya, and both are rewarded for guarding their boundaries. When haya is present, faith becomes sweeter, because you stop living for approval and start living for Allah's acceptance. So, if your heart blushes when you hear reminders, don't ignore it. That blush is your iman speaking. It is Allah giving you a gentle warning and a gentle mercy at the same time, calling you back to what is higher, cleaner, and safer for your akhirah. There are moments when you open the Quran and it feels like it opens you. You read a verse and suddenly your excuses become quiet, your pride becomes small, and your heart feels exposed. Get comforted. That is not random. That is guidance reaching you exactly where you are. The Quran is not just a book of information. It is a book of transformation. It does not only tell you what happened before, it tells you what is happening inside you. It addresses the believer when they are tired, the sinner when they are ashamed, and the seeker when they are lost. Sometimes you don't even need many pages. One ayah can carry the weight of a lifetime. A single reminder about sincerity can correct your intentions. A single reminder about the hereafter can calm your obsession with dunya. And a single reminder about Allah's mercy can pull you back from despair. But the Quran benefits the heart that approaches it with humility. When you read it to win arguments, it hardens you. When you read it to be healed, it softens you. So come to it like a servant, not like a judge, asking Allah to guide you, not to entertain you. And if you want the Quran to speak back to you, start with a simple dua before you read, Ya Allah, let your words reach my heart. Because when Allah grants understanding, the Quran becomes a mirror, a medicine, and a map, leading you back to Him again and again. There are du'as we repeat easily, and then there are du'as that make the heart tremble because they are too real. They are the ones that force you to admit what you've been hiding from yourself. Attachments, fears, and weaknesses that only Allah truly knows. And yet, those are often the du'as that open the door to real change. One of the most powerful du'as is asking Allah to remove whatever pulls you away from Him, even if you love it. This is not a cold request. It is a brave one. It is you saying, Ya Allah, I trust your wisdom more than my desires, and I trust your mercy more than my emotions. That level of surrender is a sign of spiritual maturity, but the ego resists because it fears loss. The nafs says, what if Allah takes something I can't live without? Yet the believer learns that anything that leads you away from Allah is not truly life. It is a slow theft of your peace. When Allah removes something harmful, He is not punishing you. He is rescuing you. Sometimes the scariest dua is simply asking for truth. Ya Allah, show me what I really am. Because we like to imagine we are better than our habits, cleaner than our private moments, stronger than our weakest hours. But when Allah shows you your reality, it is not to shame you. It is to guide you into repentance and growth. So don't be afraid of honest dua. Whisper it when you're alone, when the world is quiet, when you can't pretend anymore. Allah loves the servant who returns with a broken heart and a sincere tongue, because that servant is finally ready to be healed. A single sin can look small when everyone around you does it, jokes about it, and normalizes it. But in Islam, the danger of a sin is not only in the action, it is in what it does to the heart. A heart that sins without feeling anything is a heart that has begun to lose its sensitivity. And that numbness is a serious warning. Shaitan rarely drags a believer into destruction in one step. He works slowly, turning serious things into harmless habits and turning guilt into overthinking. The believer must be alert because the path to darkness is often paved with things that felt minor at the beginning. The weight of a sin grows when it is repeated, hidden, and defended. At first, you may feel shame, and that shame can be mercy, because it means your iman is still awake. But if you ignore it long enough, the shame fades, and you start to call wrong normal. That is when a person must rush back to Allah. The cure is not pretending you never fell. The cure is returning quickly through istighfar and tawbah. Say, astaghfirullah, with meaning, not just with lips. Ask Allah to purify you, to strengthen your will, and to replace the bitterness of sin with the sweetness of obedience. And remember, Allah does not want you to be hopeless. He wants you to be sincere. Every time you feel the heaviness of a sin, take it as a gift, because that heaviness can push you toward Jannah. Let your heart soften, let your eyes lower, and let your soul run back to the most merciful. Halal love in Islam is not rushed, secretive, or humiliating. It is calm, dignified, and full of barakah. It does not demand that you disobey Allah to prove your feelings. In fact, the more a love pulls you toward what is haram, the more it should make you question whether it is love or a test wrapped in sweetness. Lowering the gaze is one of the most beautiful protections Allah has given the believer. It is not a denial of human emotion, it is discipline over it. When you lower your gaze, you are saying, Ya Allah, I choose you over the impulse of a moment. And that choice strengthens your heart in ways you may not see immediately. Real love does not turn you into a liar. It does not push you into hiding, sneaking, and living two lives. Halal love respects your parents, respects your future, and respects your akhirah. It makes you more sincere, not more double-faced. It brings peace, not constant anxiety about being exposed. If someone truly cares for you, they will not ask you to compromise your deen. They will not take from you the modesty Allah honored you with. They will protect your reputation, your dignity, and your relationship with Allah. Because they understand that love without obedience is a fragile thing that eventually breaks. And if you are waiting, feeling lonely or tempted, remember, Allah sees your struggle. Every time you choose patience, every time you walk away from what is not yours, Allah records it as worship. What is written for you will never miss you, and what is not written for you will never be worth disobeying Allah for. Tawbah is not only for the perfect believer, it is for anyone who still breathes and still feels regret. In Islam, returning to Allah is always possible, because Allah is Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, and He loves when His servant comes back to Him. No matter how heavy your past feels, Allah's mercy is heavier. True Tawbah begins with honesty. You admit the sin without decorating it with excuses, and you admit your weakness without pretending you are in control. That humility is beloved to Allah. It is the heart saying, Ya Rab, I am the one who failed, and you are the one who forgives. Then comes the turning point. You stop the sin, you feel genuine remorse, and you make a firm intention not to return. Even if you fear your own weakness, you still make that intention sincerely. Allah does not ask you to guarantee your future. He asks you to be truthful in the present. Tawbah is also a reset of the soul. It cleans what guilt has stained, and it revives what sin has numbed. When you return to Allah, you return to light. You may still feel broken, but that brokenness can become the doorway to closeness, because Allah is near to the hearts that humble themselves. So don't delay your return. Whisper, Astaghfirullah, like you mean it. Pray 2 rak'ahs if you can, and speak to Allah with your own words. The door is open right now, and the most hopeful truth is this: the moment you turn back to Allah, you are already on the path, because He guided you to return. In Islam, your real biography is not what people applaud, but what Allah witnesses in private. The world sees your public moments, your smile, your achievements, your words, but Allah sees your hidden prayers, your secret struggles, and the quiet choices you make when nobody is watching. And those hidden moments often reveal who you truly are. A single sincere deed, done secretly, can outweigh a mountain of actions done for attention. When you give charity without needing credit, when you help someone without announcing it, when you walk away from temptation in silence, these are deeds that carry purity. They are protected from riyah, and they rise to Allah with a special weight. Your secret deeds also build your strength. They train the heart to obey Allah for Allah alone, not for likes, praise, or reputation. That is why the righteous used to hide their worship the way people hide their valuables. They feared that showing too much could steal the sincerity from their actions. Even your private tears matter. A tear of regret, a tear of longing for Allah, a tear in sujood when you feel weak. These are not signs of being too sensitive. They are signs that your heart is alive, and a living heart is a heart that can return, improve, and be raised in rank. So invest in what is unseen. Build a private relationship with Allah that nobody can touch. Because on the day when nothing benefits except what was for Allah, your secret deeds may be the ones that stand for you when you cannot speak. Hardship does not automatically mean Allah is displeased with you. In fact, some trials are a sign that Allah wants to elevate you, cleanse you, and bring you closer. A believer's life is not measured by comfort, but by connection. And sometimes Allah strengthens that connection through what feels heavy. Tests expose what comfort hides. They reveal where your reliance truly is and what your heart runs to when things fall apart. When ease disappears, you discover whether you were leaning on people, plans, and possessions, or leaning on Al-Wakil, the one who perfectly manages all affairs. Pain can either break you or polish you, depending on how you carry it. If you carry it with patience, dua, and remembrance, it becomes light. If you carry it with bitterness and distance from Allah, it becomes darkness. The same trial can raise one person and ruin another. So, the response matters. When you are tested, speak to Allah honestly. Tell Him you are tired, tell Him you are scared, tell Him you need help. This is not disrespect, it is servanthood. Allah already knows your state, but He loves when you turn to Him and ask, because dua itself is worship. So if you are in a difficult season, don't think your story is ending. It may be Allah rewriting you into someone stronger, softer, and more sincere. Keep walking, even slowly. Keep praying, even imperfectly, and trust that the one who tested you is also the one who will carry you through. Before you go, take one moment and reflect. What did Allah place in your heart today? Choose one word connected to this video's message. Something like haya, Quran, tawbah, sincerity, patience, barakah, mercy, and write it down somewhere you'll see it. But then, if you feel comfortable, share that one word in the comments so we can all benefit and make dua for one another. And if this reminder helped you, please support the video by clicking YouTube's new hype feature and using it here, so the message can reach more hearts, insha'Allah. May Allah bless you, purify our intentions, and keep us firm upon His guidance. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.